What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the first video of 2023. And I wanted to kick the year off with my knife collection, and I think it'll be really cool to make this video. And then later on in the year, just kind of look back and see how it's changed, what has come into the collection, what has left the collection. And yeah, so I'm really excited to make this video for you. A couple things, this is not a review video, so I'm not gonna be spending a ton of time on every single knife. I'm just gonna show you what it is, talk about it for a second, and then go on to the next one. And also, this will be split kind of into two parts within this one video. The first half of the video being Spyderco, because pretty much half my collection are Spydercos. And then the second half is everything else. So without any further delay, let's just go ahead and jump right into it with some PM2s. So like I've said, pretty much half my collection are Spydercos, and then almost half of that half, so a quarter of my collection are paramilitary 2s. And so as you can see, I have 9 in total. And what's, again, some of y'all might think that's excessive. Some of y'all that collect the PM2s, especially with the exclusives and sprint runs and things like that, this is a very small number. So again, these are the paramilitary 2s that I really like. So as you can see, these top 4 right here are all Cutlery Shop exclusive Wharncliffe PM2s. These two, the DLC versions and S30V and CTS XHP, I put some aftermarket scales. This one, the S30V version, has some fluted titanium scales from Rips Garage Tech, and this one has the Ultim scales from Cerberus Knives, which are actually, I believe, exclusively distributed by Cutlery Shop. So it's like an exclusive type deal. I don't know. I just think these colors look really good on these knives, especially with the black DLC coating. So I really enjoy those two. Those were 2 fun projects to do scale swaps on. And then the satin versions, I have just left as of right now in their original scales. I think that they look great. I dig them. And as you can see, almost all of them have MXG deep carry pocket clips, which there's nothing against Lynch. I just like, I like Lynch Northwest a lot. I just like the thinner profile of these clips. I just like it a little bit better. Moving right along, I have this one. This is the Freyden lock exclusive in words, am I right? Marbled carbon fiber scales and LMAX blade. This is a good knife. I am thinking about letting this one go, just because I don't carry it as much as I do the other ones, and I know there are people out there that would enjoy it more than I would. So I am going to be trying to let that one go. And then I have this one. This is the Blade HQ exclusive Tonto in S30V. I'm not a big fan of M4 with living in Georgia. And this one has the reverse hex scales from Rips Garage Tech. I love these scales. I love the way this knife looks now. I just think it looks really great. That was a super fun scale swap. And then moving right along, these are actually my first 2 PM2s over here. So this one is a Maximet PM2 that I got as a factory second in 2020, and it was the online sale, and I did a forced patina on it with some yellow mustard, and I put some green micarta scales on it from Knives Plus, I believe. I got them from there. And yeah, this is a good knife. This was my first ever PM2. And then the last one, this is actually an S30V stock PM2. This was given to me by my wife, so this was the second PM2 I've ever owned. It's just special because my wife gave it to me, and if I had to get rid of everything and keep one, I would probably keep this one just because my wife gave it to me. And it's still a great knife, and it's a PM2. And yeah, so worst case scenario, I would keep this one if I had to get rid of everything else. So that is all of my PM2s. It's a great knife. I actually did forget. This is the goated Crewwear PM2 around my card. I talk about this knife all the time. This knife is probably one of the best PM2s you can buy right now. Just go online to any store and you can probably get it. It's worth getting. So yeah, that is actually all of my PM2s. I like the knife a lot. Again, I'm not trying to collect every single one. I know some people do, and that's great. It's just, I like the more unique ones. So again, Cutlery Shop, unique blade shape. The Blade HQ one, unique blade shape. And then like the other ones are just, these two are just the first ones. This one's just probably the best one. And then there's nothing wrong with the LMAX one. It's phenomenal. I just don't give it as much attention as I should. And I know there are other people out there that want to give it attention. So I want to help them. And I think that's a really important thing. I think like a lot of people that collect knives will just hold on to them for the sake of just knowing they have it and they don't find any joy out of it. And that's not fun. Like someone else would enjoy it. So why not sell it? And then you can find something else you enjoy. But that's a spiel for another day. So moving right along, we're gonna clear the table and we're gonna keep going through some Spydercos. All right, so in keeping with the paramilitary lineup, we have the two pair of threes that I own. I only own two. This one is a KnifeWorks exclusive. I believe it's KnifeWorks exclusive pair of three, and CTS 204P 4-screen G10 scales. This is a great knife. Again, I just don't carry the pair of threes a ton, not as much as I probably should. I know there's some people out there that just love them. I think they're great, but I don't know. Maybe I just need to give it more pocket time. And then this is another Friedenlock exclusive marbled carbon fiber scales, and then LMAX blade. Again, I'm probably going to move this one as well, just because I don't give it as much time as I should and attention as I should. And again, great knife. I'm just struggling on opening it right now. It's a great knife. It's great. Again, I just don't give it as much attention as someone else will or wants to. So pair of threes, only got two. Now that we have the big groups of the single models out of the way with the PM2 and the pair of three, I'm gonna start grabbing them in threes and fours and just showing them that way. So first off, we have the Spyderco Native 5, and what's great about this one, it is an S90V blade steel, which is phenomenal. And then it has this fluted carbon fiber handle, which I did a whole video on that one. Actually, I think it was like the first or second video I ever made, maybe third. So you can check that one out. But yeah, the S90V Native 5, if you're gonna get one Native 5, that's the Native 5 to get. Moving right along, we have the Capara. Again, I've done another video on this one. This is a phenomenal knife. Highly recommend checking it out if you get the chance. It gets thin right here, which is great, but also not great. I don't know. Just check out the video. That is a great knife. All right, and next we have the cult classic Gale Bradley 2. This one, it's a great knife. M4 is a good steel. It has this carbon fiber handle, which some people hate, some people are indifferent about. It's whatever. This is a good knife. It is prone to rusting, so if you live somewhere humid or wet, keep that in mind. And then lastly, we have the Manix 2, the Sean Houston collab. So 15V blade steel. This knife is awesome. So if you have a chance to get it, highly recommend it. And yeah, those are 4 amazing Spydercos in my collection. I don't see myself really getting rid of any of these anytime soon. Next, we have a Blade Show 2022 pickup, and this is the Sage 5 lightweight. This is an awesome knife. I carry it a lot, especially when I'm wearing like gym shorts or anything like that. Highly recommend it. Tai Chung stuff just never misses, in my opinion. I have a lot of it. It's really great. So Spyderco Sage 5, and then we have a Knife Joy exclusive Delica 4, 20 CV, blade steel, Wharncliffe. I love this knife. This one gets a lot of use as well. Then we have Spyderco Smock, again, Tai Chung. This is a super fidgety knife. I've done a video on it. It's really fun to play with, and yeah, it's a good knife. And then lastly in this group, I just got this. I need to do a little bit of work on it, but it is, as you can see, pretty stiff. It is the Spyderco Drunken. So this is a really good knife. I like it. I think I like it. I'm still trying to figure it out. What I got to do is there's a little bit of lock stick, so I don't know if you can hear it. It's just really bad lock stick. So I gotta disassemble it and do that, and then go from there. But this is a good knife. It has this really nice milled carbon fiber handle, and on the back, the scale, back side of the scale lock side is also milled, so it looks aesthetically great. But yeah, these four are really good. These are all non-golden Spydercos, and I think these are really phenomenal and definitely worth getting. Especially these two. These two are really good. If you're just looking for a good EDC knife, I would say Sage 5, then Delica 4, and then if you want something to just fidget with, Smock all day. And then if you're looking for a really fancy boy or girl, I would say go with the Drunken. All right, as we wind down, we're actually towards the end of my Spydercos. These next four are factory seconds that I picked up in 2020. So there was the big online COVID factory second sale. Some people had poor experiences with it. I had a great experience. And honestly, getting these knives really opened my eyes up to what good quality knives should be, and the fact that they are worth what pretty much all of them are priced at. So first one is the Spidey Chef. This knife, I love this knife. I don't know why it's a second. I couldn't really find anything wrong with it. And how you can tell it's a second, I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, but there's a tiny notch on the spine. That lets you know it's a second. But the Spidey Chef, this is an awesome knife. I love it. I have done food prep with it. Definitely best money I've spent on that knife. Next one is another Native 5. This one's in Maximet, and I did another patina on this. You can kind of see it. It didn't come through as clear or as good as like the one on my PM2, but that one's great. I have one Shaman in my collection, and this is it. It is a Rex 45, and I did another patina on it, and this one looks really cool. It's got some kind of like wavy pattern to it. And then lastly, let me get these situated. We have Para 3 lightweight. And again, this one got a lot of pocket time when I was wearing like lighter clothes before I got the Sage 5. And when I got the Sage 5, it essentially replaced this one. This is still a good knife, still a great knife. I keep it in my truck a lot. But yeah, these four definitely got me into the understanding of why knives are priced high, and because of the quality of the knife and the materials. So I do still enjoy these factory seconds as well as that Maximet PM2. All right, we got it. We got through the first half of the collection, all the Spydercos out the door, back in the box. So moving on to the rest of them. The first one is the Devo Knives Stout. I really, really like this knife. This knife is just really visually appealing and pleasing. I love bolster locks. I love the blade shape. It has the copper carbon fiber scales. I like wire clips. So love that knife. Big ups for me. Next is the Benchmade Mini Griptilian. I've done a video on this one. You can go check it out. That was actually the first video I ever made. And yeah, this knife is still fantastic going into 2023. Now, it is highly recommended. I recommend it all the time to friends that are trying to find knives. So mini grip is awesome. Next knife is Pina X Series Apache. I am not great at thumb or front flippers, so I usually just slow roll it, as you saw, and sometimes I even struggle with that. But I really like this knife because of it just looks simple, classic, classy. So yeah, this knife is great. I like the blade shape. I like bolsters again, big bolster fan. That is the Pina X Series Apache. And then the last one in this group is the Luft Concepts Avant. This is another Blade Show pickup. I love it. I know some people didn't really care for their Avants. I adore it. In the words of Jake, he uses that word a lot, so I'm going to use it with his knife. I adore this knife. It's great. Love, again, deep carry pocket clip, wire. I like the DLC on it. Flicks open really easily, and it has a flipper tab that is not obnoxious. So Luft Concepts Avant, and these are great. Next group. All right, next we have knives from Vario Engineering. First off is the Synapse Mini, or Mini Synapse. I can never remember which one they go with. But a step up from that, we have the Synapse. And I will say, I think the Synapse is a great EDC size blade. Again, not taking anything away from the mini version. I just think this is a really great size. So I'm super glad I have both of these. And then I have the Axon frame lock stonewash handles. And then it has the belt satin finish. I love Wharncliffe. I love this knife. Again, I'm not great at I'm not great at front flippers, so I just use the little pocket notch right there, flick it open. And then in addition to that, we also have a custom ano version of the Axon my friend did for me. You can check out a video I did on that. Has the stonewash blade. Again, great knife. They make really great knives. They're really well designed, very elegant, very they're like, they have a lot going with them, or a lot going on with them, but also don't. It's hard to explain, but they're just so well made. I've never had issues with any of them. So got some Varios. I want some more in the future. They just announced actually a mini version of the Axon frame lock. So definitely going to be trying to get me one of those to match this one. But yeah, Vario Engineering, love them. They'll be in the collection for a while probably. Rounding out this portion of the collection, we have the TRM Three Rivers Manufacturing Neutron 2. I love this knife. Got it at Blade. I put these little O-rings on them, and this knife has phenomenal action. I bought it with titanium scales, so it's a little bit more expensive, but I think everything about this knife is great. Comes with a deep carry pocket clip. You know, I'm not super big thumb studs person. I have a few in my collection, obviously, as you've seen, but this knife is really great. Love the Neutron 2. Next, we have the Kviss. I can never pronounce the name of the company. I feel bad about it. One day I'll figure it out. Variant PE1. This is a great knife. It has what's the blade steel? 14 C28N. It has a Wharncliffe blade. It's a sway back design. Deep carry pocket clip. If I wanted to dye the handles, I could. I don't think I'm going to. This is actually the only, I think it's the only jade scales I have in my collection. So yeah, that is the Variant PE1. Next, we have the Tactile Knife Company Rockwall in MagnaCut. This is my first ever MagnaCut blade. I love the texturing, milling on the handles. I need to tune this knife up a little bit. I've used it a lot. It's not centered. So I just need to take better care of it. But this is a great knife made by Tactile Turn in Texas, I believe. Yes, Texas. They are from Texas. So fantastic knife. And last but not least is the Oz Machine Company Roosevelt. I love this knife. This knife probably gets, since I got it this year, has probably gotten the most pocket time. I love this knife. I love that I got this version of the knife. They do some great stuff. I love like how they just do different versions on their lotteries each week. I just love this plain Jane version. I love everything about it. It is so good. It is just a phenomenal knife. Everything about it is just really well made. So that is this portion. Again, I believe these three made in the U.S. And then I believe this one's just OEM somewhere overseas. I'm not 100% sure. I could be wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong. But yeah, another four great bunch of knives. All right, and to round out the video and the collection, these are knives that were given to me as gifts and or I bought really early on in my collection. So actually, let's do the earlier on ones first. First one would be the CRKT Squid. I think this is a great knife. This is a good knife. I don't carry it much anymore, but it still hangs around. So they have like other versions of it. This is, I think, one of the original production models that they were coming out with before they did like exclusives and larger sized ones. And I think there might be one with a flipper. I'm not 100% sure, but CRKT Squid. Sticking in line with CRKT, we have the Pilar 2, the Pilarge, if you will. I really actually still like this knife. I love sheep's foot, big fan of sheep's foot blades. It fits really good in the hand. This is like a good, just go do some shit stuff if you want. But yeah, CRKT Pilar. And then we will get into gift knives. So the first one is actually a buck 110 given to me by my wife. I do actually, now that I think about it, this might be the first knife that my wife ever gave me. It has rosewood handles and it has the drop point blade. Not super into the clip points, but yeah, we have the buck 110. Next one that was gifted to me is the Civivi Elementum. This was given to me by my dad a few Christmases ago. This is a good knife. It has the brass scales on it. I think it makes a great gift. It's a good knife. It's a little heavy compared to like other knives that I could carry in its size. But next knife will be the Asher Spiro. This has the blue handles. Asher makes really great knives at super affordable competitive prices with really good materials. This has S35 VN steel. So I highly recommend checking them out if you are interested in that. I think they're sold out on everything right now, but I would follow them on social media for more information on drops, pre-orders, things like that. Let's see, what do we have next? Let's get these out of the way. Next, we will do the Wii Banter. This was given to me by my mom the same year I got the Elementum from my dad. This is a great knife. Again, I think it's a staple in a collection just because Ben is a staple in the community. I highly recommend it. They have a lot of different flavors for different people. They have exclusives with different blade steels, things like that. So I highly recommend the Wii Banter. And sticking in the Banter family, this was given to me by my wife, I think for my birthday 1 or 2 years ago. It's the Baby Banter in Ben Blue. And again, this is a great knife. This is actually such a good knife that I went and bought 2 more of them in red and green. And I think these are great. These make really great gifts. I think the Banters are really well made, really well thought through. So I think Ben has a lot of great things going for him, and with NAFs, and all of that. There's a large version of the Banter out as well. I probably won't pick it up. I think this one's great, and I think these other 3 are also great. And that is it. Those are all the knives in my collection. I think we landed somewhere around 44, 45. And actually it turns out half my collection's not Spyderco anymore. So I'm actually really pleased with that I'm broadening my horizons. But I want to thank you all again for watching. This was probably a long video, so I highly appreciate you sticking around if you did. I'm really excited about this year and what can happen on this channel. I have a lot of fun ideas planned and thought, I'm starting to think through them, what we can do as time goes on. I'm super excited about Blade Show, things like that. But yeah, I thank y'all again for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to keep seeing more content like this year, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video.